Hello, my name is Carl Surrey and I run a Facebook group called Fans of Serif Software, but I am members of other Facebook groups that are revolve around the Affinity programs made by Serif. And in one of those groups somebody asked about how to add a picture to a mock-up. Now I basically make videos for beginners in these particular softwares. I don't claim to be an advanced user, so I aim my videos at beginners so they can sort of learn their way. So if you don't know what a mock-up is, you can buy them, or you can get some free ones. Now this particular video here, this is the actual Serif video that sort of deals with this subject, but in this video they use the live perspective option, which is, I'm guessing, the correct way of doing this. So I would fully advise you watching this video, and I will add a link to this video in the description to my video. But this is not the only way of doing this. The way I'm going to show you is a slight variation, and I would imagine for most beginners it is probably a slightly easier way to do this. But in a mock-up you have an image like this, and you can then put your picture in, say, the TV screen, or a mobile phone screen, or a picture on the wall, or a bus stop shelter image. There's loads of free mock-ups out there, and you can also buy some. Now the one I'm going to go for comes from dealjumbo.com. There is a freebie section here where you can get free fonts, free bundles, free graphics, and free mock-ups. The one I'm going to go for is this one here. So you've got two screens that you could use, and you could even use this paper here, and you might be able to use the cup, but that's a bit beyond my capabilities, so I will not worry about the cup. You probably do need to read the blurb that comes with it, but it does tell you, like, it is this particular one. They can be used for personal or commercial purposes, and other info that you need to look at. And all you need to do is enter your email address, put a tick in here that you're not a robot, and then when this turns green you can click on download, and what they will do is they will send you an email to the email address that you've provided with a link to the download page. Now the only catch here, and it is only a slight catch, is that they will then continue to send you emails, of other things that they're trying to sell you basically, but you can either just delete them or cancel the subscription. But it's not that big of a problem. I don't find it to be a big of a problem anyway. So when you do get your email and you download, what you will get is a zip file which you then have to unzip, and in this case you will get two versions of that particular image. You will get the JPG version, which is just like a single flat image, and you will also get a PSD file, which is a Photoshop file that has all the elements in layers. Now you can open PSD files in Affinity Photo, so I'm going to look at using both of these. So if I come to Affinity Photo, this is the JPG, which is just, like I said, a single layered image. It's got the free mock-up scene here, but that'd be easy enough to clone out and get rid of if you want. You don't want that. And we have the PSD file, which has all of the elements in layers. If I drop down this group here, you've got the greeting card. Let me come onto the move tool, and then you will see the greeting card there, the cup, the laptop, the screen photo display thing there, and the plant. Say for example you didn't want the plant in the image, you could just get rid of it that way. Or if you don't want the cup, you could get rid of it that way, just by getting rid of the particular layer. So the PSD file will give you more scope to alter things, because as they're in layers you could even move them about if you wanted to. But I'm not going to do any of that. I'm just letting you know that with the PSD you do have options outside of what you can do with the single layer JPEG. So first of all, let's get rid of this writing up here. So I'm just going to come to the clone brush tool, and I'm just, as this is a nice plain background, I'm just going to press the Alt key to give me an area to clone. So I'll just click there, and then I'll just keep my finger on the left mouse button and a bit more care, I'll actually get rid of this a bit quicker. There we go. So that's got rid of that. Nice and easy. So now I want the images to go into these two screens. Now what I'm going to use is this image which I took of a rainbow in the town where I live, and this screen grab I took of the Fans of Serif software. One's got sort of a light background and one a dark background. This is sort of important in the sense that it will alter how you will blend in these particular images. So I'm going to just right click on this background for this layer and copy it, come back to the JPEG, and I'm just going to come to edit and paste. Now this picture is much bigger than the background, so let me zoom out a sec. I just need to resize this. So I'm going to come to one of the corners, and I'm going to hold down the Control key on a PC, and I think it's Command key on a Mac, and then click and drag the size to roughly what I want it, put it on top of my image, and then I'm going to press Control and 0 to resize. So I still want to resize this a bit more, so I'm just again hold down the Control key, because that will keep the proportions right. So I'm going to make it roughly the right size for this screen, and I'm going to put it roughly in the position I want it. So like I said, in the Serif video they would have done it via the I can't remember exactly where it is, I think it's up here somewhere. They do it by the live projection option up here, but I'm going to just use the perspective tool, which is the icon which is under the text, that white T there. So I want to come to that tool, and it will make that image have a grid over the top of it. You can get rid of the grid if you want, just by putting a tick in there or not, but it is easier for me anyway to leave the grid in place. So I'm going to zoom in now, and then I'm going to come to the move tool. Sorry, no, I'm going to stay on the perspective tool, sorry, and then come to one of the corners, and I'm just going to roughly put it in position, and then come to one of the other corners, right about there, and put that about there. So I'm going to zoom in a bit more and make a slightly better job of placing that where I need it. I mean, sometimes you can zoom in a bit too much and you lose track of where you are, but just so you can get a good idea of where you want that image to go. Alright. Oh. And when you're happy, just click apply. And what I'll do is I'll press Control and 0 again to zoom out. So as you can see, that image is now in the screen of that PC laptop. So you could just leave it there, but I think you do need to change the blend mode, because there is some sort of reflections on this image and you want to sort of keep that reflection. So it's a case of cycling through the different blend modes to find one that you like. So you click on this menu here to drop it down, and then just run your cursor over each option to find one where you think it works best. And if I remember rightly, I think color dodge for me I thought was the best one, because you can start to see the reflection that's in that screen. So what I do want to do is I just want to brighten that up slightly. So what I'm going to do there is I'm going to add a brightness and contrast layer. Now this layer, if I make any alterations now, it is going to alter the whole image, not just that screen. So what I need to do is to drag this down and make it part of this layer but not the bottom layer. So as I click and drag it down, I'm waiting for a blue line to come across the bottom here that only goes as far as the icon. If it goes right over to this edge here, you've come down too far. So I'm going to click and drag this down, and then you've got the blue line there. So that is now inside that image, and any alterations I make now to brightness and contrast will only affect that image. So let me just make it slightly brighter, and I've done about the contrast. It's, yeah, that's not too bad, so I'll just click on the X there. So as you can see now, I've got the image in there, and I've got also the reflection that's on that screen, just by using the blend mode really. Now the blend mode will vary from image to image. I mean, a lot of it depends on how dark your image is, or how dark the background is that you're trying to put this onto. So I'm now going to try and put the other image onto this white background. Let me come to this screenshot here, and I'll just right click that, copy it, come back to this image here, and then edit and paste. Now what that has done, unfortunately, is it's placed it inside that group, so I'll just click and drag it out so it is above. What I should have done was highlighted the top one before I pasted it in, but it's easy enough to drag it out. Just click and drag it up until it comes out. So again, I'm going to hold down I'm on the move to, I'm going to hold down the control key and just resize this, and as it's going on that piece of paper down there, it needs to be quite small, roughly about the right size. So I will zoom in, and then again I come to the perspective tool, and then just like before, click on the corners and get it roughly in position. Like so, and then just fine tune your positions. And yes, I think that's okay like that. So I'll click apply, and I'll press Control and 0 to zoom out. So again, it's now down to blend modes. Now let me come off that tool a second to get rid of the box. Now that probably doesn't need to be having the blend mode altered, because it is on a white background. So let me try this white image inside there. So it should still be in memory. So if I paste another version of that and come to the move tool, press the control key before I resize. Let's put that one there. Right, that's near enough. Use the perspective tool, zoom in a bit. Right. Right, just zoom in a bit more. Right, that's going to go about there. that will go about there. Obviously with your own images you can sort of take your time a bit more than I am here. Yes, I think that'll do, so I'll click apply, Control and 0 to zoom out, and what I'm going to do now is go through the different blend modes to find one that I think works on that particular. I see lighting's not, probably lighting's not that far off. I think lighting's just slightly brighter than normal blend mode. Screen. Yeah, so the lower one's lower down, it might start getting a bit weird and wacky. No, I think I'll go with the lighten. Come off the move tool to get rid of that. So that's a quick look at how you can add images to a mock-up that is just a single JPEG, just by adding it as a new layer, using the perspective tool to alter its size and positioning and place it where you want it. So moving on to the PSD file, it's going to be pretty much the same idea, but you're working on individual layers. So first of all, I'm going to put the image into the laptop, which is that one there, and as that screenshot of the Facebook page should still be in memory, I'll just paste that one in. So go, move this down here, and then I'm just going to resize this roughly where I want it. And what I'm going to do now is, like before, I'm going to drag this layer down and into the laptop layer, so it will only work with the laptop layer and not with the whole image. You could do it the same way just by fitting it on screen, but there's a reason why I want to do this, and I will show you. So let me first click and drag this down until that blue line comes to there, and as you can see, anything that is not within the bounds of that particular layer is no longer visible, because it is only working with that layer. So now if I come to the perspective tool, I'll zoom in, and it's basically the same procedure. And get there, and that one there. Right, that looks okay, so I'll click apply. Again, I'll press Control and 0 to zoom out, and then again it's down to blend modes. Now if I just drop this down, as you can see, it is the image that I put in that is still highlighted, and so I'm going to change the blend modes to see if I can get the reflection on this white background now. So whereas I used color dodge on that darker image, it doesn't work on this white image with the black background. Overlay is not too bad, I can start to see the reflection there. So like I said, it depends on the image and the mock-up that you're trying to put it into. I think it's going to have to be overlay, and then I will add the brightness and contrast layer and try and brighten it up a bit. And as I had that layer highlighted, it would automatically add this brightness and contrast layer above that image and still within the group, so it will only affect this particular layer. So let's brighten it up. Now as you can see here, it is affecting the whole of the group, which includes the PC, which is what I don't really want. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to drag this down and put it into the Facebook image, like so. So now I've got a group within a group. So now when I alter this, it should just alter the screen. Let's try knocking the contrast back and the brightness up a bit. Maybe contrast and brightness may not have been the best option here, but yes. Oh, that would do. But you see what I mean. You can alter the blend modes. I mean, levels might have been a better option. So I will leave that like that. I could have made it brighter, but I'm just going to save time and leave it as it is. Right, so moving on to the greeting card. Now for this one I'm going to put the darker image. So again I need to come to that image, right click, copy, come back to the PSD file, and it is the greeting card that is highlighted, the layer. So I'm going to edit and paste, so that will put that above the greeting card layer. I'll press the Control key and resize this. Just resize it a little bit more. When I'm roughly happy, I'm going to click and drag this down and make it part of the greeting card layer. So as you can, let me zoom in. As you can see, like I said, anything that is not part of the greeting card layer is not really visible. It's only the area that's inside, because it is part of the greeting card. So again, if I come to the perspective tool and put that there, now you could always, because anything that's not part of this greeting card will not really be visible, you can come slightly outside so that the edges you do know it goes right up to the edge. So if I click apply on that one, and see I missed a bit there, let me come back to the perspective tool and we'll try that. There we go, that's a bit better. So I press Control and 0, come off that tool, and I don't think I need to change the blending mode on that one, it stands out quite well. So again, repeating this, and what I want is this photo frame. So make sure that is the one that's highlighted, yes. So I will edit and paste in that image again. Again, like before, just hold down the Control key and resize it. About there will do. And I will click and drag this down and make it part of the photo frame. Come to the perspective tool, just zoom in, and then like before, just put it in position. Right, that's not perfect, but it will do for my demonstration. So I'll press Control and 0 to zoom out, and I think I might need to tinker with the blend mode of that a little bit. Let me come off that tool a second, and see which works. It's probably going to be colour dodge one again. Hard light possibly, but yeah, I'll go with hard light. There we go. It's a bit darker, a bit moodier. So really that is it really. They'll show you doing the same process, just using the perspective tool rather than the live perspective tool. It's probably a slightly easier way than the live perspective version, but I would imagine the live perspective version is a much more precise and better way to do it. So I think as a beginner you might be better to use this way, and then once you've learned a bit more about Affinity Photo, start to learn how to do it the other way. But the choice is yours. Either way works really. So I hope this answers anybody's questions, how you can use a mock-up, be it the JPEG version or the PSD version. So thank you for watching, and goodbye.